Welcome back, YouTubers, and you're probably wondering why we're putting our WrestleMania preview video out on the Friday, but seeing as WWE did like a video package go-home show for Smackdown, we decided instead of doing a Smackdown review on that, we would put out our WrestleMania 28 predictions video today, specifically for you guys, and we have no time limit on this one, do we? We're going to be as detailed as possible and give you as many thoughts as we have, and try and generate as many discussions as possible in this one.
That's the main focus, shame about Smackdown, but let's get on to this video.
Yes, indeed. Make sure you guys subscribe up above, like this video, and comment your thoughts going into WrestleMania 28 down in that comment section below.
Make sure you contact us in the link in the description box below.
Indeed. I am Mr. Parkin, and this guy sitting next to me, he is the real main event right now. Give it up for NJ! What's up? The first. Ka-ching for the win.
Ka-ching
for the win. Indeed. Yeah, robot time. There we go. So WrestleMania 28. Coming up on Sunday, NJ. What can we really say about this? This has got potential to be a pretty decent WrestleMania, pretty good WrestleMania. Do what we usually do here. Give your thoughts on the general build. Have WWE done a good job in making you looking forward to this year's WrestleMania and making it seem like a big deal, like it's a big event?
Well, first thing we look at is WrestleMania 27. Some of that is following onto this year. So I think in that year gap, they have really got us to wanting to see numerous matches at this WrestleMania. So for the build-wise, I'm all for it.
Yeah, I think, to be honest with you, my main focus is going to be on the three big matches we've got. Generally at WrestleMania, you want big matches and special matches. And what we're getting here is generally we've got three pretty special matches, you could say. And those are going to be the general draws of the pay-per-view. And I think in terms of building up and making it seem like a big deal, WWE, in my opinion, have done a very good job of that, especially compared to last year's WrestleMania. And the ratings may not say it, but I'm quite looking forward to this WrestleMania. I'm quite looking forward to seeing what Vince McMahon will offer us this year. And I think WWE have done a very good job of promoting this year's WrestleMania in some ways. There are some filler matches on there which you could consider, but there are three big matches on there which are big selling points that I'm going to look forward to.
That's true, because for these matches we've got in this WrestleMania, they've got the fans definitely behind them, so I think they've done a really good job at making this WrestleMania such a big deal. But there are matches that could have done better or not done at all. Exactly,
yeah. And to be honest with you, there are going to be a lot of old school fans tuning in for this one as well because of The Rock, isn't it?
Very true indeed.
I think one thing that will be very important, though, is we talked about the build a little bit now, but the card structure, in my opinion, is going to be quite important. And when we go through this review, we're going to do this. We're going to go through this review in the order we think the card could be, and we may have a couple of disagreements which we'll explain, but we're going to do this in the order that we feel the card will be in. But card structure, in my opinion, especially when you have three big matches, the card structure is going to be very important at this year's WrestleMania, in my opinion.
That's true. When you look at the three big matches we've got, and possibly other matches that could be done better, the WWE should be thinking to themselves, okay, we don't want one to look less important. We've got to keep them building up to keep the entertainment there, the bands there. So the structure for this WrestleMania is really important, just to give the fans their entertainment and their reaction going through the whole show.
Yeah, and you want to make sure the fans don't get burned out, especially considering if you have three big matches, there's a potential there for the crowd to be a bit burnt out by the main event, which is why there's a match in that upper card, which we're really not all for, but there we go. So card structure will definitely be important. Another thing which will be important is not just the quality of WrestleMania, but some of the best WrestleManias have been the ones which have done things for the next generation, as in the next era. And this WrestleMania, going into it, in my opinion, WWE are at a point now where they do need to push new stars. And this WrestleMania really did, in my opinion, need to focus on these young stars. And we do have that in some way or form at this year's WrestleMania to kind of open the door for the new era.
There are matches in this that I could see, if they've done it correct and they give to the winner to the right person, it could give them a good push. At the same time, there's a few matches that I think this is not done right in some ways because the younger talent's probably not going to get what they deserve, but we'll get to those matches as we go through the card.
Yeah, indeed. And so, basically, this WrestleMania should hopefully sort of, as we may go into the review, the preview, I should say, hopefully sort of end this sort of era and maybe hopefully define another era. Whether or not it will do, like the WrestleMania 14s, the 27s, and the 3s, whether or not it will do that, we don't know. But we think that there is a possibility it could do that, despite not probably not doing it.
Because with the big matches we've got, there's a big chance, if those matches are done correctly, there's a big chance that it could open a whole new direction for the WWE for 2012 and onwards.
Yes, and now we go on to the card. I think the first thing we're going to address here is the dark match. Do you feel the dark match will be a tag team match, maybe for the tag team titles? It seems like they're going to do that, doesn't it?
Even though the tag team's not had TV appearances, it's just made them not seem that important, which is sad because we've seen in past WrestleMania reviews like we've done. They've been somewhat of a decent thing, a draw to WrestleMania, and these years just not. But for a dark match, it will get the crowd going because tag teams, even if it's not the greatest tag teams left, they do put on pretty good matches.
We could always have a battle royal. They're pretty consistently done at WWE, WrestleMania, sometimes dark matches. We could even have a Brodus Clay match, even though we could possibly get on the card. Maybe even a Del Rio, who really knows? But the dark match, it's not that important. We just thought we'd bring it up. It's probably going to be the tag match, isn't it? Let's face it.
I really think it would make sense for a dark match, yes.
Yeah. And we're going to begin the WrestleMania card with a bit of a debate. I feel that Sheamus versus Daniel Bryan for the World Heavyweight Championship will open the card. You don't. Just give me your reasons why you don't think this will open the card, and I'll go on to mine.
Well, with past WrestleManias, yes, they've had the World Heavyweight Open, but with this, we have so many things going into it. We have the Money in the Bank winner, we have the Royal Rumble winner, and the World Heavyweight Champion. So this has got a lot going for it, and plus 2 young talents.
Yes.
So the way I look at this, there's so much going into this. I think it really deserves, for the first time in a while, a better place in WrestleMania to show importance to those things and to these 2 wrestlers.
I don't necessarily want this to be the opener. I just feel that there's not really another match on this card that can really properly open the show, in my opinion. In my opinion, that is. And I do feel that with the sort of the way they built up to Sheamus versus Daniel Bryan, the way they built up Daniel Bryan, the way they've, some people will argue that Sheamus was barely built up despite winning the Royal Rumble. And the whole feud itself, in my opinion, has not been built up as a main brand feud. And neither is Orton and Kane. We'll go on to that later. But I kind of feel this will open the card just because Vince McMahon will want these guys to sort of try and... He did it last year, let's not forget, so might even do it this year. And I think the perfect way to open the card would be for a big babyface like Sheamus to win a World Heavyweight Championship, even though I think it should be higher up on the card. And I kind of think that with Daniel Bryan in there, the original plan was not for Daniel Bryan, it was for Mark Henry Sheamus, exactly. And I kind of feel this match will open the card, unfortunately.
Well, with this match, I've said the against why I'm against it being open now, if I go for it.
Ooh.
Well, with this match, we have Sheamus, who is a great person to get the crowd going to how much people like him. So for him to actually go into it, get the win, awesomeness, and that. As much as Daniel Bryan fans take nothing away from his in-ring ability, he's not been booked as a wrestler that I'm behind. I wanted to see as champion. At the time, for him to become the Money in the Bank and eventually champ, it was needed because the baby faced up, he's turned heel. But I'm more in favour of seeing Sheamus. Yes, Dan said that he's maybe not been booked, but at the same time, gradually as the year went on, or towards WrestleMania, he did become a standout wrestler for Smackdown.
Yeah, and let's face it, guys. Smackdown needs babyfaces, and WWE also need babyfaces, and it's a point which is really proven in the Team Johnny versus Team Long match. But the build to this hasn't been good. We both admit that. It seems like WWE have kind of said to themselves, right, we're just going to give Sheamus the belt, get Daniel Bryan in WrestleMania. It's funny this match was the dark match, now it is going to be on the card. You'd think it would be in a more prominent spot, but I can't help but feel this will open. And I may be wrong, but this feud hasn't been built up very well. Daniel Bryan's reign as a champion hasn't been that great, so I'm kind of just looking forward to Sheamus winning the title and then them just moving on from that. Because let's face it, injuries were what caused this match to happen. It was going to be Sheamus versus Mark Henry, and that would have been a much better match to get Sheamus over as a massive babyface.
Well, as much as I've got my money on Sheamus, I'm going to say I think Bryan could have a chance of winning. Sheamus has been built up to this top babyface, a likeable wrestler. People want to see as the champion. So if it was an upset, Bryan getting the win, it'll push him as a great heel because he's beat a top babyface, and plus it could do great for Daniel Bryan to be a strong heel going into the next year. Yeah, he'll lose it sometime in 2012, early 2012 if anything. So it could be either way. But yeah, Sheamus is the big opener that everyone's be happy to see as the champ.
You've got to think that WWE have a lot more confidence in a guy like Sheamus than Daniel Bryan. It's essentially why I think Sheamus has to win this. Not to mention the fact that he won the Royal Rumble, and if you don't have a Royal Rumble win a championship match, even if it is the opener for this 5th year in a row now, it's going to make the Royal Rumble seem a bit pointless, really, or a bit meaningless. So, in my opinion, it'll probably be a good match. Don't get me wrong. This should have opened last year's card, in my opinion. It's probably going to open this year's card based on the feud and the strength of the feud, which is there as a lack of. But it should still be a good match. Sheamus and Daniel Bryan can both go in the ring. It'll be a good match. I just think the right person needs to win this, and that right person is 100% Sheamus.
At the end of the day, Sheamus would be the next person to go be the head of SmackDown.
Exactly, kind of like Batista was at a time. And John Cena on Raw, of course. We'll get to that later, though. Cody Rhodes versus Big Show for the Intercontinental Championship is a match which you feel could open, but I feel will be after the opener, after that big nostalgia sort of win moment, hopefully, for Sheamus.
Well, putting the two belts important. Yes, the Intercontinental has grown, but the World Heavyweight should be an important thing for SmackDown. So that's why I think that should be Pirate. But with Intercontinental, as we've seen in the past, the mid-card, mid card belt or the Money in the Bank, or just a match that hasn't got much importance as the opener. But I think mid-card would be the mid-card belt as the IC belt could be the opener to get the crowd going for Cody Rhodes to get his opening match and to give him the push for the rest of WrestleMania and for 2012 as he goes on through this match.
I think the biggest thing about this match for me is the fact that you've got Cody Rhodes there, a guy who WWE obviously have a lot of faith in. We've seen by the way they've booked him and featured him, and the fact they've given him that IC Championship. And they're actually featuring the Intercontinental Championship at a WrestleMania for the first time since, that JBL Ray squash. And, this is going to be a real big match in my opinion. Like last year against Rey Mysterio, really trying to spotlight a guy like Cody Rhodes who's going to be a big player in the future of the business. And this is what this match really, to me, should be all about. I know I'm a Cody Rhodes mark, but I think that they, as much as Big Show is a big star for the company, which I know you're going to touch on in a minute, I think this segment really does need to be about putting over Cody Rhodes as a guy who could be a main event player to come, in my opinion, and giving him that big WrestleMania-defining victory for the second year in a row.
Well, with Cody Rhodes, as we've seen the past month, he has become a bigger thing in the WWE. The question is, the WWE want to be focusing on, okay, we've got Cody Rhodes here, who people are behind, he built up great, but we need to be pushing him towards the main event eventually. But with this WrestleMania match, he does need, as we've said, the defining win as the Intercontinental Champ, as the top heel, and as a future main eventer. So the win would do him justice. If we look at Big Show's point of view, he was in the World Heavyweight Championship for as long as he was, came to the World Heavyweight Championship for a brief while but before they messed that up. And the thing is, Big Show, he was even going for the CM Punk's belt in that Battle Royal. So they had ideas for him to be involved still in the main title picture. So now to step down in a way for Cody Rhodes, just so Cody Rhodes can get his one big win and two, a big match at WrestleMania. So in a way, I'm pretty sad for Big Show, but at the same time, their focus is more on Cody Rhodes than Big Show.
I think you know what I'm going to say back. I've said this many times before, especially when you mentioned Big Show sort of dropping down. Like you said, Big Show was a part of that main event scene for let's face it, quite a long time against Mark Henry, Daniel Bryan, Elimination Chamber. So really, it's about time. It's just logical progression that he did step down and help another guy go up, like a guy like Cody Rhodes who has a lot more to offer in the future than a guy like Big Show. And in my opinion, Cody Rhodes has to win this, but him not winning wouldn't be terrible because Big Show is a big guy. And, I do think Cody Rhodes should win this to retain his IC belt, but I could see him losing if they want to get that belt off him onto a Big Show who's still a big star, and hope maybe push Cody Rhodes further. Who knows?
Well, that's the thing with Cody Rhodes. The build to this match has been more leaning towards Cody Rhodes, giving great mic skills, the power over Big Show. So it has been more about Cody Rhodes, and the Big Show has just been there to make Cody Rhodes look good, which he's done a really good job at. Big Show being a guy to put Cody Rhodes over, it's a good thing, but to build up to this match, they had a possibility of Dustin Rhodes, they had Santino, and then Big Show. So it could have gone either way, but Big Show being the big guy he is the great person to put Cody Rhodes over. So it's a match I'm looking forward to. You were saying about Big Show possibly winning. I personally would not want to see Big Show as the IC champ. I would want to see him put Cody Rhodes over and then go on, possibly building back into the main event, just like Cody Rhodes will do by the end of 2012.
Well, hopefully that does happen because that would really complete a real good progression for Cody Rhodes. And as a Cody Rhodes mark as well, that would be fantastic for me personally. I must admit, I am really looking forward to this match. The build with the whole embarrassing moments thing, it's been built up very well in the sense that they haven't really touched that much, and this is going to be the first time they've touched, and they have built this pretty well, in my opinion, especially for a mid-card Intercontinental Championship match featuring a guy who could be a future player for the company. So hopefully this match will do what it needs to do, and I think it's kind of similar to Cody Rhodes Ray last year, in my opinion, in the sense that you've got Cody Rhodes going against a big star of the company. I know Ray was a little and Big Show's bigger, but they're still big stars either way.
And the fact they were actually giving the Intercontinental a WrestleMania match big focus and actually an important part of WrestleMania, I think they've done a good job this year.
Yes, indeed. Randy Orton versus Kane, I feel could be next on the card. Randy Orton and Kane are both big stars in their own right, and let's face it, they only really went in a feud because they needed to get them both on the card, really. And I think WWE's booking of this and the way they've done it has kind of shown that this was kind of just filler, in my opinion. I don't know about you, but this kind of, to me, just seems like a way to get Kane on the card, a way to get Orton on the card, to put them together quickly, nice and sort of easily done, despite the build not being that great and the premise not being that strong.
But if I see it from two point of view, yes, it's a way of getting them both on the card because they both should be at WrestleMania after what they've been through and who they are in the company. But also the fact that Kane has had a feud with Cena, the top wrestler on Raw. Now he's going to top wrestler on Smackdown, so it's a good thing for Kane because now he can say, "Oh, now I face two of the best companies. I put on great matches. I've looked good against them both." The build, yes, Kane may not look the best, but the match itself, the fact they're going to be in the ring together, could change that, and Kane could actually look good. So in a way, I'm looking forward to this match just because they're two wrestlers that need to be at WrestleMania. But at the same time, the build's been more leaning towards Orton and Kane.
And speaking of the build going more towards Orton, the way they built this, not only has it been lackluster in my opinion, but you look at the way Cena put over Kane as this monster, even though he beat him in that ambulance match. You look at the way Orton has been booked against Kane. He's been booked incredibly strong, RKOing him pretty much every week, and it's just because of shit like that. The Kane monster character is probably going to die soon because of the way they're booking him at the moment against a guy like Orton. And Orton has been pretty dominant in this, and I can't see anything else other than an Orton win, unfortunately.
WWE's love and the fact that Orton has been built up from the start of this feud to the end, which is probably maybe gone after WrestleMania, who knows. It does look like Orton's going to win, but I personally think that it would be more better for Kane to win going to the year of WWE 2012 because he'll be this monster heel who's beat Orton. Now he's got the open year for him, but at the same time, obviously, Orton being who he is, I don't think he's going to be that fair and give Kane what I feel would benefit more from Kane than an Orton win.
You look at what could... I know it's a tough comparison to make, but you look at who could offer more to the business, and Kane is on his last legs. Let's face it, he's got a couple more years left. The monster gimmick could be a good one in terms of a monster heel gimmick.
Put babyfaces over.
Yeah, exactly. Put babyfaces over, but I can't see anyone else other than Orton winning this, and you know what WWE like. Because this is a filler feud, in my opinion. Not just that, but the fact that it's Randy Orton against Kane, and Randy Orton has been booked very strong in this. I kind of feel that this is just going to be Orton's win, another filler match at WrestleMania mid-card for a guy who's supposed to be one of their top guys.
But I will say the keyword is filler, because let's say Orton wins, people would predict it.
Over.
What is Orton going to do next?
Exactly. World Heavyweight Championship?
Maybe eventually, but they've got other ideas for other people to go for the World Heavyweight. So to be honest, Kane should get the win, and then because then he could progress. Because if he beats Orton, he'll look like a top monster to put babyface over. If he loses, people can be like, "Oh, Orton beat him at WrestleMania. He's not going to be much of a big deal." So it can be seen in two ways, but in WWE's eyes, Orton's going to win.
From what I've heard, apparently they're going to do an Orton versus Del Rio feud, and if you have Orton win here, you make Orton look like, I know he looks like $1 million already, but it'll make Del Rio look better potentially. But that's all rumours there. We'll move on to the next match now. The match which. Well, people have very differing opinions on. I think me and NJ are part of that group. Team Teddy versus Team Johnny in a match which basically it's a 12-man tag. Elimination or not, we don't really know yet. Winner is going to be the GM of Raw and SmackDown. You have Team Teddy and Santino, the captain, Great Khali, R-Truth, Kofi Kingston, Zack Ryder, and Booker T. Last-minute addition, got a massive pop on Raw. Versus Team Johnny, Johnny Ace's team of the captain David Otunga, Dolph Ziggler, Jack Swagger, Mark Henry, Miz, and Drew McIntyre. 12 people in this match. You think that this was a good way of getting these guys on the card, or do you think that some of these guys need to be spotlighted, like a Dolph Ziggler, for example?
Well, let's say it's not elimination. Let's just go with that route at the moment. If it's not elimination, the match is going to be too overpacked, and no one's really. They're going to get their moments, like, well, that person did this, that person did that, but to actually look good going into the next year, the WWE year, I don't think this match is going to give them that big thing, apart from the one who gets the pin at the very end. So this match, I think. It's not really going to do much justice to the 12 wrestlers that are in this match.
No, it won't do much justice, I'll give you that. But this feud I've generally not found too bad, actually. The whole Johnny Ace versus Teddy Long thing. It's good, in my opinion, it's good they're doing this at WrestleMania because the GM of both shows is a big deal, and it should be a big deal. And it seems like more of a big deal doing it at WrestleMania. Also, you've got to factor in the fact that they weren't going to do Money in the Bank, so they needed another way to get all these guys on the card. So this is at least a decent, if not best, it's not the best way, but at least a decent way to get them on the card. And I've been genuinely entertained by the whole Johnny Ace character and the interaction with Teddy Long. Not necessarily by the wrestlers in there, but the whole Teddy Long versus John Laurinaitis thing to me has been entertaining, and I can't help but feel that with the amount of TV time and the amount of effort they put behind the Johnny Ace character and the fact that Teddy Long has now been GM for, 7-8 years of SmackDown, that Johnny Ace's team is going to win this, especially with the fact their team is so much down stronger.
That is sad, because that's one of the reasons why I don't really care about this match. One, the fact it's not been labelled as an elimination, it's just been labelled as a tag match, and also the fact that the teams are not competitive. It's just like leaning a lot more towards Ace than Teddy. If it's level, then I'll be more into this match. I'll be like, oh yeah, look at this team. This team's good, that team's good, put on a good match. But the fact it's just leaning towards Ace, I'm like, I just don't really care now.
Well, Johnny Ace has to win this, in my opinion.
Because of the teams and because of the other thing is, both GMs have been involved in firing storylines, Teddy with Vince and Ace with Triple H. So the fact they've both been seen as not really good GMs, what's going to happen with them after WrestleMania? We could get a new GM,
Triple H,
being one too, but Triple H could get involved and something else could happen. But for this match itself, I'm going to say Ace, yes.
Yeah, it has to be Johnny Ace. It could be a decent match, maybe with those. I mean, they've got some good workers in the match, but it's just. I mean, I do look forward to this and see the whole. I think I'm most looking forward to any interaction between Long and Laurinaitis more than the actual match itself. What that says for the match, I don't know. But do you want to move on? Or
the last thing I'll say is that this match could have been either a lot smaller or the fact they actually labelled it elimination, because some of these wrestlers could have gone into a tag match and done a big, massive tag team title match. Some wrestlers deserve to be in this match because they've got nothing else going for them. But overall, I just think this match has been done differently. But the build's been pretty decent.
Yeah, the build's been. I'm looking forward to this match. I would say it'll be like an entertainment style match. I imagine, kind of like Conor Lawler last year, which wasn't entertaining. But anyway, we'll move on to the next match. The next match we think will be on the card is the Best in the World versus Best in the World. Chris Jericho versus CM Punk for the WWE Championship. CM Punk going in as the champion, Chris Jericho as the challenger. I must admit, we'll start off from the beginning. The Jericho return videos did kind of disappoint a little bit with the fact that he didn't talk, but the point is now we've got this big match that we did want, and I am really looking forward to seeing these two collide, especially with the build.
But to get to this match, they had Jericho with these possibilities of becoming the contender, the Royal Rumble, they made him chamber. And in fact, they went a completely different way. They had Jericho win a Battle Royal on the Raw to make this big match. It's just showing like, yes, I'm glad that Sheamus won the Royal Rumble because that was great for him and SmackDown, but to give Jericho this match against Punk in a Battle Royal on Raw, I just don't think that was the best way. But at the end of the day, we're getting this match, and that's the main thing in WWE's eyes.
I mean, you could have had Jericho win at Elimination Chamber, possibly. They didn't go down that route. But I mean, generally, the promos between these two have been pretty good. CM Punk and Jericho are both very good professional wrestlers, and this should be a fantastic match if WWE give it a lot of time. And this will be the first of 3 big matches, in my opinion. And it's kind of a shame that the WWE Championship isn't like higher on the card, but essentially you've got 2 massive drawing matches there, which you got Rock versus Cena and The Streak, and those 2 things outweigh the WWE Championship in a lot of ways, don't they? If you think about it, but it should still be a good match, but it'll be a very good match between those two, and the build has helped as well with all the family issues and the Best in the World versus Best in the World, and CM Punk being a fraud and Jericho returning, and it's a big match for a big Mania.
Well, if we go with the other matches that are probably going to overwrite this in some ways, the fact that these two are going to put on a great match, as the fact is before the next 2 matches, people would be saying that was a great match. I'm not going to forget that. They've done this, they've done that. Yep. But when it progresses, great spots in that. The build's been what people are going to remember because of what Jericho said in that. But the winner of this, as you know me, 2 point of views. Let's do Punk first. If we say Punk wins WrestleMania, the final win as the WWE champion, the next one of the top faces on Raw or in the WWE, shall we say, and it'd be great for CM Punk because he's got a win over Jericho at WrestleMania.
And it will do a lot for him as well, especially if WWE are going to focus a lot on this guy. They've got a lot of faith in this guy CM Punk now after that summer he had, even though they didn't capitalise full 100% on the steam he had, but they've still got this guy in CM Punk who could be a top guy for the company, and it shows you what they think of him. They're putting him in a match against Chris Jericho. And if he gets the win here, it'll be a big win for CM Punk at WrestleMania, and it will really establish him as a face and him as a big player in the future.
Because as the WWE champion, he does need a big wrestler to be defined as a good champion and a good wrestler in WWE.
What better way to do it than be against who else claims as best in the world, Chris Jericho?
Very true. But now if I go down Chris Jericho's route, if he wins, the feud will continue because I think CM Punk's going to want to capture he'll get his rematch and he wants his belt back. And I know it's not at WrestleMania, which is sad, but they will continue it and we could have Punk chasing Jericho for the belt.
SummerSlam.
And then going towards SummerSlam, Extreme Rules, whatever way they're going to do it and give Punk his belt back. But at the same time, what's more important, WrestleMania or late pay-per-views?
And WrestleMania, I think, always wins that argument. And I think it's also quite positive that Jericho is going to be sticking around for the summer because WWE do need a guy like Jericho to really put over baby faces and help the company. So that's another positive that's coming from this. Jericho is going to be around for the summer and not just be like, The Rock who's going to be going away afterwards. But anyway, so that should be a good match. Could even steal the show, depending on the next match, in my opinion. Well, and the main event as well. End of an era. Undertaker versus Triple H. Hell in a Cell. Shawn Michaels as a special guest referee. This all started at 2:21:11, didn't it? And that match at 27. Now they've built from 27 onto 28. We've had kind of a natural progression there. Some people may disagree with the way it's been built with Undertaker asking Triple H for the match. But I must admit, we were never for this happening for a third time. But as soon as Hell in a Cell was announced, boom, that was made into a big match. And then the addition of Shawn Michaels, which could argue has been a bit overkill, but this could be, based on the story and the strength and the streak and Shawn Michaels and the star power in it, this could be the best match on the card.
Well, two things I want to say about this is that, with me personally, when I heard that it's going to be a third match, I was for and against it. For, because we had already big matches at WrestleMania, add this one on even bigger, because other wrestlers haven't really been built towards Taker or built towards being a possible wrestler to defeat Undertaker. And the other thing is Shawn Michaels. We had the single match. We had another single match, which I think maybe Shawn Michaels could have been a referee at that. Then leading on to the Hell in a Cell, because maybe Shawn Michaels isn't needed for the big Hell in a Cell and Triple H versus Undertaker 3.
Yeah, I mean, essentially, this is a big match. I mean, you've got Undertaker's streak, which is always a massive draw to the pay-per-view, especially WrestleMania, where the streak is at. You've got Shawn Michaels in there. Hell in a Cell. I expect this Hell in a Cell match. A lot of Hell in a Cells have kind of just been done at the Hell in a Cell pay-per-view, and this is the right time to do a Hell in a Cell to cap off this sort of trilogy that they've had now. So it should be a good match. The strength of the story is there, despite having it a third time. The performers, Undertaker and Triple H, are both fantastic performers in the ring. They've both dominated Hell in a Cell for numerous amounts of years, so I expect this Hell in a Cell to be quite good. With the addition of Shawn Michaels, it could have an extra twist to it as well.
That's the thing. I look at Shawn Michaels being put into this match, the big match it already is. It's making me think that I can see it from 2 points of view. The fact that it's going to be a big match that Shawn Michaels will be a part of, so he can see it face to face. He could just watch it. Yes, he's going to be thinking, I can't really give it to Triple H, but he could cut it down to the middle, then after the match, take care of whoever won. But at the same time, there's the fact that Triple H almost ended it last year, and if he does it this year, Shawn Michaels will be like, no, you're not taking my spot on Mr. WrestleMania, take you down and give Taker the win. But that brings me to the whole point. The fact that Shawn Michaels was in this match, before Shawn Michaels was put in, I thought Triple H has got this, because just how close it was last year, and him being Triple H himself. With Shawn Michaels there, I'm now lent a lot more towards Undertaker.
Yeah, and I think, to be honest with you, a lot of people would agree that Undertaker has to continue the streak. For as long as he's going to be around, is a guy like Triple H really a guy, especially who's not really going to be able to benefit too much from ending the streak? I mean, like I said, this should be despite some questions about the build and the promos these guys have had and the addition of Shawn Michaels, it still has a lot there. Hopefully it will be better than their match last year, and it has a lot in there, the Hell in a Cell, Shawn Michaels as a special referee, to really make it into that good match. And this match, honestly, could steal the show. I mean, it could steal the show away from Rock and Cena. It could do. It has the potential to if it is done really well.
Because also the big thing about this match is the fact that Taker's possibly going to be leaving somewhere down the line, and Triple H is the COO. So this match, it has so much importance because if Triple H wins, Taker's finished. If Taker wins, Triple H is going to not want another match and probably go back to the COO. There's two things going into this match: the streak and Triple H COO I'm just really looking forward to this match.
No, same here. I must admit I am. It's that drama of the streak that really does create, really does reinvigorate the fan inside of me rather than the smark inside of me. And I do hope this is the last of it. I do hope they don't do like a Triple H Shawn Michaels match down in the future or something like that again. I do hope this is like the last of it and it's a pure victory for Undertaker. I really do.
Because I really think that this match should be, again, third time charm, just finish it here.
Yep.
Shawn Michaels should be just there to either do the whole screw thing or just be a part of such a big match. And Shawn Michaels should be here for this WrestleMania and then go back to leaving and just leave the wrestlers as they are.
And leave his legacy as it rightfully should be. Well then, so after that, between the main event and this match, the Divas match will probably be there. Let's face it. The crowd will be pumped for this match. You're going to need a match to really sort of buffer between the main event and this Hell in a Cell match, which is why the Divas match will probably go second to last. It's a smart decision, in my opinion, because you don't want the crowd to be burnt out too much, and this gives them time to just calm down a little bit. And, so in that sense, I can see this match being second to last. I can.
Well, as we said at the beginning, the importance of the match that we're getting at this WrestleMania, you do need to think, if they all together, one after the other, the crowd will be losing reaction, losing their voices throughout the show. So the fact there's a little break, yes, it's going to be a short match, so it's not much of a break. It's still going to give them a bit of a breather before they cheer The Rock.
And boo Cena as well. There's going to be a lot of people there's going to be a lot of people booing Cena. The reaction is going to be pretty awesome for that one. Before we go on to that main event though, this match here could have been a lot better, couldn't it? Let's face it, we could have had Karma Beth, Natalia Beth, even have Tamina Beth again. But instead we have this. The inclusion of Maria Menuosos, is that really needed? You could argue you've already got The Rock as the main attraction celebrity. Did you really need a Maria Menounos in there? And have they done enough to really try and attract mainstream eyes using her extra show than they really could have done, promoting it, 2-3 weeks and never promoting it on TV in advance?
The horrible thing about this is you've got Beth Phoenix, the Divas champion, and she's not really been spotlighted as the Divas champion. She's been spotted as a tag team partner. And the fact that before this, there's the whole possibility of those matches that we said, which would have been a better WrestleMania match for the Divas, especially for Beth Phoenix. And the sad thing is they're bringing in a tag match. We know how bad Diva tag matches are. The fact they haven't won at WrestleMania, I think it's really appalling how WWE are treating the Divas. Bringing a celebrity, I just don't think this is going to affect the match. It's not going to affect how people see this match. It's still appalling, and it's making Beth look a lot worse than what the build has been. Yes.
Yeah, I mean, I think I can understand bringing in celebrities. Don't get me wrong, celebrities are part of WrestleMania, but it's not necessarily the celebrity that's the matter. It's essentially how you draw eyes using that celebrity. And WWE haven't done a great job in really presenting this match as, number one, an important match. Number two, I'm not sure if they've really done that great of a job of how much mainstream eyes is she really going to bring in that Rock hasn't done already. I'm just saying, this match, not really looking forward to it. It won't be that good of a match. It'll just be a break. We'll probably use this as a piss break or a get food break or something.
And the whole thing about this match, it's not just the build, it's not just who's in it and how bad they're treating Beth. It's like the celebrity's probably going to get the win.
Oh, yes.
And there's either Eve Torres, who I don't really care if she gets pinned, but like last year, they pinned Michelle McCool. They'll probably do it to Beth, and I'm thinking that's horrible. Divas champ and someone who needs a push or something big going to 2012 so they can rebuild the Divas Championship.
Hell, if there was a match you were going to have a celebrity win, it would have to be the shittest match on the card. So, I mean, I don't mind Maria Menounos going over here. It's just that's essentially what a celebrity is for. The celebrity usually wins. Hopefully it'll be over Eve Torres, but Beth Phoenix, hopefully not. But there we go. We'll move on to the main event now. The most important match on this card, essentially, considering not just considering the way they've done it now, and that is the main event. This is going to be the main event, isn't it? Rock versus Cena was made the Raw after last year's WrestleMania. This is the match which essentially meant that WrestleMania 27 was pretty much just thrown under the bus for. So I expect this, with the year-long build, to be the main event. Now, I think there's so much we could talk about this match. First of all, the year-long build. Has it become redundant? Has people just got fed up with it? Will you go into this match thinking, oh, that was fantastic, I want to see it again? Or would you be going out of this match thinking, thank fuck, that's over?
The fact that it's been started from WrestleMania 27, it was all about The Rock, giving The Rock the big push and start the feud, and then the whole year, I didn't really agree with it. Even when it was first, I thought, why now? And the fact that the push started the second half of the year, I just thought, you've announced a match and all you really had was Cena mentioning it, nothing really building up to it, and I just thought horrible. And they actually pushed so much build in the second half of the year. Yes, it got the crowd entertained, happy to see The Rock, hear their words, seeing them to be built up to be at Rock's level, and I'm just really thinking that they've done this in a pretty bad way.
I think the tip of the iceberg for me was Survivor Series, when that was the time they had Rock and Cena as a tag team. They really needed to do something with the feud, in my opinion, like make one of them turn heel or something. They really didn't do anything to really draw the eyeballs, in my opinion. I mean, the match is a massive draw, let's not get that wrong. It's just that the feeling for me that it is kind of getting a little bit redundant, and that the segments, they haven't really touched properly yet, like properly in a match. Hopefully they won't touch each other again in a rematch afterwards. But I mean, generally, it's going to be one of those matches where the crowd really plays the role, and that is essentially sometimes what matches are all about. How you manipulate the crowd. The crowd are going to be booing Cena all to fucking hell. They're going to be cheering Rock, which is essentially what they should do, really. I mean, Rock is the much bigger star than Cena. It'll be one of those matches. It won't be the best technically wrestled match or anything, but it'll be the match which gets the most crowd reaction of the night, I would think, apart from unless Triple H and Taker manage to get all that, which they've known to do in the past with Taker.
Well, I look at this match. Yes, it's the match that's been built up, and the one that's going to be WrestleMania's main event, just mainly because of The Rock and Cena. And I'm looking at this and thinking, yes, it's a match that fans want to see because The Rock is back to wrestling. He's wrestling the best, the built wrestler of
the top guy, basically. Yeah.
And I'm just not feeling it as much as maybe the W want us to. It's going to be more about obviously them putting on a match to maybe lean towards giving Cena the win, because obviously he's beat The Rock. But overall, it's just glad to see The Rock being involved in a WrestleMania and to be a legend to put over another wrestler.
Yeah, I mean, essentially, The Rock's bringing in old school eyes, really. People that were probably disillusioned with the product before, that are now thinking, oh, Rock's back, he's wrestling John Cena, I want to see this, and Rock is just not just a celebrity icon, but he is essentially bringing in those old school fans which have probably been disillusioned with the product, and I think that's what will tip this million pay-per-view buy rate scale, in my opinion. Like I said, the build has kind of been a bit lackluster. The fact that it's been done the whole year has hurt it a little bit, in my opinion. But at the end of the day, when the bell rings and the crowd goes mental, it's still going to be one of those matches where you're going to be like, that was a big match, essentially. And it's just one of those things, really, what happens in wrestling. The wrestling fan comes out of you and the smark will hopefully go hide somewhere. And I do want to enjoy this match.
We need to, because obviously The Rock gave us so many great matches, and he's got us, the crowd really wanted to see The Rock wrestle again. Now he is coming back to wrestle. It should be, the fact that he's coming back to wrestle, the way I see it, once in a lifetime match, a match that he's going to be there once, done correctly, and just leave fans going happy.
Yeah, and you say do it once. There should be no rematch. I mean, apparently Rock is going to be there for WrestleMania 29, but I hope they don't do another match between these two. I really think Cena, what my opinions on this match, NJ, but the people out there do as well. I think Cena should win purely from a standpoint that you've got John Cena there, who's your top guy, and if you're in Vince McMahon's shoes, you're really going to want to try and show this guy as a big deal of your company, even if it does come at the expense of a guy like The Rock, who could possibly be bringing in old school eyes, which will be very disillusioned if they found that The Rock is getting beat by a guy like John Cena, for example.
If I do 2 points of view with this, Cena first. Cena is the top wrestler. He's been in a match with The Rock, who is just like the Jericho and Punk. He's basically there to give Cena a big, massive win at WrestleMania, even though Cena's had so much in his career and he's already built up to the top. There's really not much higher he can go. But if you look at it in that way, Cena should win to give him another WrestleMania win, even though he's won so many WrestleManias already. But if we give The Rock the win, it's unsurprising. It's surprising that Cena's actually lost. And also, it's The Rock sending a message to Cena saying, you're not unbeatable. I am just that much better than you. And also the fact that I'm leaving WrestleMania and the fans are happy that the fan favourite, has won.
Exactly, yeah. And he is the fan favourite. Let's face it, WWE can't fight the grain, especially with a guy as over as Rock with John Cena, because John Cena is going to get fucking booed. He's going to get booed massively in that building. I know you're salivating at that thought, NJ, but could this be a good time for WWE to turn John Cena heel? This is a question which a lot of people will be asking with this match. Is it a good time to turn John Cena heel, especially with all those fans booing him, and is this at a big stage? Would this be a good time to turn John Cena heel, do you think?
Yes, because in a way, The Rock is the face, and yes, he's been heel in the past, but in this particular match, he's going to stay as the face. People are going to want to see The Rock kick out and win, so Cena's going to be going down, down, down throughout the match. So yes, it'd be a good time to turn him heel because of the result of the match, but also no, because there are so many millions of fans that want to see Cena as the face he is, that draws in the money, and if it's going to affect the kids if he ends up turning heel and putting on such a bad look about him on future.
Especially when you're trying to accommodate kids. And I don't think Vince McMahon will take that risk personally, knowing that he's got a guy like John Cena. Let's face it, he doesn't have anyone to replace John Cena as that top sort of Americana kind of guy, so I don't see him turning him heel, but it's always a possibility. This will be a good time to do it. It'll be probably years too late, but it is a good time to do it. I mean, this does have a big feel. This is one of the 3 matches that does have a big feel about it. It's been built for over a year now. So I mean, I'm still looking forward to it in the sense, from a fan perspective, but it's been a bit lackluster in the sense they haven't really touched properly. You could look at that 2 different ways, but I mean, it should still be hopefully a good main event. But do you feel this will be a good main event, or do you feel that it could have the potential to disappoint?
Well, I see this. The way we've done it is the other matches, I'm pretty sure, may outright this. This match is the main event, but I still think the matches before are going to be the ones that are going to make the Wrestlemania what it is, even though this is meant to be the main event thing I build up to. But when it comes to Rock and Cena, just like Punk did, I think that The Rock is going to bring the best out of Cena to make this match as big as it already meant to be.
And you've seen by the way they built it that they're bringing Rock down to Cena's level to try and get Cena over more, so that should really give you a clue as to who's winning this. Vince McMahon is getting his guy to win this match. You can see by the way they've done the build, if they were going to have Rock win, they would have had him go out there and pwn Cena so much. But I mean, there we go. I think Cena is going to win this match, and they might have like a handshake and respect, and Rock will try and get all his babyface heat on Cena or something.
But let's say Rock was to win, because there's some fans that think, I don't want to see him WrestleMania at WrestleMania 29, possibly a SummerSlam, just so you don't have a repeated match at a big stage of them all. Could be the idea. So Rock wins here, Cena wins at SummerSlam, would work out for me. In the WWE's eyes, they really want to give Cena the biggest thing they can, which is The Rock and the win at WrestleMania.
Yeah, I mean, we've talked a lot about that match, but there is a lot to say about it. It is the main event. There's a lot of aspects surrounding it, which you could argue about for hours in sometimes. So the fact we kept it down to, wow, we're at 43 minutes, guys. God damn it. We told you, we didn't say this at the beginning, but we didn't set any time limit on this one. We wanted to give all our thoughts and detailed analysis on this pay-per-view, brother. But anyway, should still be a good main event, and this WrestleMania should hopefully be a good WrestleMania. I mean, it has the 3 big matches. Yeah, there are some kind of filler matches there. There's a lot of variety on the card. We got IC title match. There's all sorts going on at this WrestleMania. So hopefully this will be a good WrestleMania. I really do hope that it could be that WrestleMania that could help start a new era and help younger guys get over. Whether or not it will do that or not, I don't know. But with those 3 big matches in there, and the fact that WWE have made it seem like a bigger deal by having some of the matches in there and the way they built it, which some may say is kind of lackluster, it still, to me, hopefully should be a good WrestleMania, like a WrestleMania 19 or a 17 from top to bottom. It should be good. And I hope to God it is after last year.
Well, with this WrestleMania having as much build in some way, the involvement of certain wrestlers, I really think that this, if the results are done correctly, the card structure is done correctly, it's going to open many doors for the next WWE year going on to the future, and it could make the whole lot of difference going on from after this WrestleMania.
Yep, and it should. I just really hope this is a good WrestleMania, especially after last year. And hopefully WWE will not just focus on having a good card top to bottom, but we'll focus on what this is going to do for the future, because WrestleMania 26 and 27 have really bad implications on some of the future aspects of the business and the way we see things now. So hopefully 28 will set up those things well in that sense, if you know what I'm saying. There are things that this WrestleMania should concentrate on, and there are important things that WWE needs to concentrate on, especially in an era where they haven't really made too many new stars, and they need to start doing that, in my opinion. Having guys like Rock in there, like guys like Chris Jericho in there, perfect time to start doing this, really, isn't it? Setting up the next era.
That's very true. And also, they've got 2 concentrations on the future, which is what WrestleMania is about, to the door to the new year, and also the entertainment, because obviously it's the biggest thing that everyone's waiting for a whole year, and people are paying money to get their money's worth, as well as entertainment.
Yep.
And because of the matches we're getting, We're going to get promos as well, backstage stuff, really hyping up the matches even more. So I'm pretty sure, even though we took the risk of 27, I'm pretty sure that this is going to be a WrestleMania to buy, love, and remember.
And remember should be the correct word there, because this does need to be a WrestleMania that is remembered. And with those 3 matches, they've got the perfect basis there. Whether or not they pull it off, we hope they do. But guys, if you've got this far, thank you very much for watching this video, because we did have a lot of thoughts on WrestleMania 28. Our WrestleMania 27 review was an hour long, and I know a lot of you guys enjoyed that. We've got a lot of stuff coming up for you guys. WrestleMania review on Sunday. Best and worst of WrestleMania, best and worst WrestleManias and best and worst WrestleMania matches the weekend after this year's WrestleMania. So we've got a lot of stuff coming up for you guys. But make sure you give us your thoughts on the build to WrestleMania 28 and your thoughts on the matches down in that comment section below. We want to hear your thoughts, and we will respond to you accordingly as soon as possible.
And guys, make sure you support the British Fist by doing this. Make sure you support WWE by tuning into this WrestleMania. And for Mr. Parkin and me, NJ, enjoy WrestleMania and goodbye.